How strong is Batman? Any of the things about the Batman that makes him attractive as a superhero is that he's a regular dude. Batman often finds himself up against enemies who have undergone some sort of super strength transformation to their bodies. Why is Batman so strong? Batman is so strong because of his regular exercise regime and life spent fighting crime. He also uses technology and gets a regular workout on the job. Although Batman is a normal human, there have been times in his past when he has gained temporary powers or superhuman strength. Let's take a gander at the factors that make Batman strong in more detail. 1. Exercise. Of the things about Batman that makes him attractive as a superhero is that he's a normal guy. Batman often finds himself up against enemies who have undergone some sort of transformation to their bodies. Even his allies are sometimes aliens or beings who have had their bodies altered in some way. Despite being a normal human, Batman is still able to keep up with them and save the day. Here's what you need to know about Batman and why he's so strong. 2. Technology. Bruce Wayne is a genius. It's easy to sometimes forget how smart Batman is because many Hollywood films tend to forget to include what makes him Batman in the first place. There is a reason that he was introduced in Detective Comics years ago. Batman is, at his heart, a detective. He goes to crime scenes to investigate murders and other crimes. Then he pieces it all together to determine who the culprit is. Once he knows who it is, he goes on the hunt and brings them in to face justice. While some elements of Batman's genius are in films, they're usually flexed by his ability to create tech and gadgets rather than solve crimes. In some adaptations, and even in the comics, his genius is sometimes replaced by the character Lucius Fox. Fox is the one responsible for coming up with Batman's gadgets. In other stories, it's Bruce who comes up with the ideas, then he leaves it to Fox to make them happen. Bruce Wayne's intellect allows him to see aspects of himself that are weak. He then goes and invents something that helps make him stronger. A common example is his Batsuit. The Batsuit usually changes based on the adaptation. Some use one material while others use a different material. Regardless of the actual material used, the goal is to make it harder to injure Batman while also allowing him to hit harder. It's one thing to punch someone with your bare hand and another to punch someone with a hand that's covered in a glove made of steel. Batman also has several gadgets, like his batarangs, that he throws and uses to hit his targets. All these elements together make Batman as strong as he is. 3. Time on the street. Another reason Batman is strong is that he spends a lot of his time on the street fighting people and performing stunts. Batman is never idle. When he's not working out in the gym or attending a charity event as Bruce Wayne, he's sitting up as Batman and hitting the streets. The majority of Batman's time is spent rounding up thugs that tend to belong to one supervillain or the next. Some are also unaffiliated. Since they usually have guns or weapons, Batman has to fight them fast or outwit them to stay alive. One of his trademarks is being able to hide within the shadows and sneak up on his enemies. That means that Batman spends a lot of time working on his agility and balance. He may need to scale a wall or walk across a narrow beam. That keeps him strong because he's using and building muscles that allow him to move stealthily or climb vertical surfaces. When it comes to fighting supervillains like Bane or Killer Croc, brute strength is often needed. In this instance, Batman is honing his muscles and adding to his strength. It's one thing to train in a gym and another thing to fight for your life. Batman also doesn't kill, so he has to fight in such a way that he does enough damage to knock them out, but not enough to kill them. That adds complexity to his fighting since he has to show restraint. Batman is strong because he gets a regular workout when on the job, which lets him hit all his muscle groups. 4. Mental fortitude. Batman isn't just physically strong, he's also mentally strong. Supervillains like the Joker are always trying to break him. Batman maintains hope in the justice system. He believes in fair trials and the court of law. He also hopes that the need for his services will one day come to an end. He hopes that the police will be able to take over for him and that justice will no longer need to include vigilantes. That sort of mental strength didn't come easy. Bruce Wayne watched his parents get murdered right before his eyes when he was young. The experience traumatized him. While it was also the catalyst for his transformation into Batman, it encouraged him to train. Batman underwent many years of martial arts training. As anyone who practices martial arts will tell you, learning martial arts is both a mental and physical game. It strengthens your body as well as your mind. Batman took those lessons, and it has helped him stay mentally strong despite the horrors he has witnessed. It's also why he's as physically strong as he is. Batman knows where to find weak points in an enemy. He knows where to hit to do the most damage without being lethal. He's able to stay calm and patient in a fight when his life is on the line. All those factors enable him to become stronger and more effective in a fight. Batman is strong because he has high mental strength. What powers does Batman have? Batman is a simple guy, but through his experiences, has had to take drugs and come into contact with dangerous chemicals. Through that exposure, there are a few story arcs in which Batman has either developed powers or seen himself enhanced in some way. Here are some of the powers that Batman has possessed in the past. 1. Super strength and resilience through Bane's venom. Bane is a famous Batman supervillain who started as a professional wrestler. Although his origin sometimes changes, Bane ends up using a drug called Venom. The drug causes him to grow bigger and stronger. It's harder to take him down because he also has incredible damage resistance. Venom is usually lethal to most people. Those who don't use it correctly usually end up dead. Bane has been able to use Venom successfully despite having an addiction to it himself. There are few times when Batman has had to use Bane's Venom. It's usually when Bane has found some sort of concentrated version and is stronger than normal. In order to go toe-to-toe with him, Batman has had to use Venom to become stronger and more durable. This has altered Batman in some way even after the effects of Venom have worn off. He usually has a bit more mass after he uses Venom. He's also stronger and more durable than he was before he used Venom. As such, one of Batman's powers is that, after using Venom, he becomes extremely strong and durable. 2. Green Lantern powers. A few times in Batman's history, has been able to use one of the rings from the Green Lantern. Hal Jordan, the titular Green Lantern, has given Batman his ring on a few occasions. These rings are incredibly powerful and can alter reality in different ways. The most basic power it has is that it allows the user to fly. However, you can also use the ring to create a sort of green energy source, which can then be used for any sort of application. Besides the green energy, the ring can also hypnotize people, allow you to pass through solid objects, become invisible, and even travel through time. There's almost no limit to what the ring can do. While Batman had possession of it, he was able to use the ring to perform any of those powers, and more. There was even one story arc where he received a ring from the White Lantern. That ring offers powers that are on the same level as a god. As such, Batman had incredible powers while he bore the ring. 3. Vast Intellect. Batman is a smart guy. As a detective, has able to piece together different clues to reach a logical conclusion. That sort of intellect requires critical thinking and attention to detail. You can easily call Batman's genius a power since not many people compare to the level of his intellect. That said, there was one story arc in which Batman became even more intelligent. To discover how to defeat the Anti-Monitor in the Darkseid Wars story arc, Batman chooses to sit on the Mobius chair. While he sits there, has able to know practically everything. He finds out the real identity of the Joker. Although the chair still didn't reveal who the Anti-Monitor was, there was a time when Batman knew everything in the universe. That said, sitting in the chair did come at a cost. As many people know, knowledge is power, and Batman has it in droves. 4. Super strength through super pills. The Injustice story arc saw a different way for Batman to get super strength. During the events before the Injustice story arc, Superman works with Lex Luthor to create a pill that has kryptonite nanotechnology in it. Batman eventually gets a hold of the pill and takes it. The pill transforms him. It makes his muscles stronger and gives him greater tensile strength. As a result, Batman can punch and take a punch a lot better. In fact, has able to punch Superman without too much difficulty. The impact actually causes some damage to Superman. Even more importantly, it lets Batman take hits from Superman. Normally, a hit from Superman would put Batman down. After taking the pill, however, Batman can stay on his feet and keep fighting. That said, Batman only retains this type of strength by continuing to take the pills. 5. Echolocation. Although Batman fashions himself after a bat, he doesn't always share a lot of powers that a bat possesses. That changed during the Amazo virus story arc. In this arc, there's a virus that spreads through the community. The virus gives everyone superpowers, but they end up going into a rage and then dying. Batman becomes infected with the virus. He goes blind, but he ends up developing an echolocation power. It allows him to use echolocation to see around him. In terms of damage, he also gets the ability to perform a sonic blast. It can blast his enemies away and cause serious damage. Eventually, the Justice League can find him a cure.